In between all those likes and frowny faces we believe actually make a difference in any real discussion of import, Facebook maintains they are one of the leading engines driving global economics. And they might be right. This while American consumers hope another expert analyst is not correct about his prediction over gasoline prices. Welcome back to Midpoint, another edition of Bulls, Bears, and Bucks from the Society to Advance Financial Education, the Profit Professor, if you will, Steve Beaman, who now has a new title. Good to see you again, Steve.
Well, it's good to see you, Ed. Thank you for that.
All right, buddy, here we go. Facebook and a study performed by Deloitte and Touche shows that they helped generate $227 billion worth of economic impact and had a help in creating 4.5 million jobs in 2014. Okay, number one, do you buy it? And number two, how does that happen?
I do buy it, and it's all part of this, what I refer to as disruptive technology. We are fast moving from a computerized age into an information age in which information is the king. Facebook, like the other social media networks, allows you to share information across the globe at the speed of light. And there's a very low cost entry point. So small businesses are in fact able to use Facebook to promote their business and to promote their brand in a better way than they've been able to heretofore. So I think it's probably a close number.
Now, in a lot of instances, you can promote your business, yourself, whatever, for free. All right, Steve, we all talk money here, and this has been talked about for years. How long before Facebook finally says, excuse me, got to be a charge? I know that people say they leave in droves, but I don't believe it. I think it's too deeply ingrained in people's psyche at this point.
It is. But the interesting thing, and you bring up a great point, Facebook is now, when you post something, it used to go out to all of your followers or all of your friends, and now it doesn't. They very closely regulate how many people it goes to unless you boost the post. So Facebook is beginning to do that, and that's why you're seeing some of the younger people move over to Instagram and Pinterest and those types of things.
And also Twitter, which still is free. It's shorter, but it still comes up free to them, at least for now.
And I certainly tweet our visits, so I hope a lot of people watch that.
There you go. Stay right there and stay on Twitter. Next thing up, the former president of Shell Oil, John Hofmeister, who should know a little bit about oil. Here we are talking about how oil's going to stay nice and cheap, gasoline's going to stay cheap. This guy's got to rain on everybody's parade. He says that gas prices will rebound earlier than expected, hitting $80 or $90 a barrel, maybe even by later this year or early next year. Wait a minute, Steve, that flies in the face of almost everything that we've talked about for the last couple of months.
It does, and I think he's actually talking to the traders, trying to boost up the price a little bit. The Wall Street Journal today had a article covering some of the traders of gasoline, and they're looking at it staying down where it is, maybe even continuing to drop. The reality is the revolution in shale oil production has truly changed the dynamics in oil pricing. Granted, global growth over a long period of time will come back and grow, but even at Davos in Switzerland, they're talking about reducing global growth forecasts this year.
All right, so at least for the time being, let's say maybe 6 months, a year, we're pretty good around the $2-3 price, you think, per gallon?
I think we are. I don't see anything, again, barring, as you and I have talked, some enormous supply disruption. I don't see anything running those prices up right now because there's plenty of supply and a declining demand.
All right, another big note today as we get back to work on Wall Street. Johnson & Johnson, fourth quarter sales, a stronger dollar hurt them drastically here. They fell about now it says only 7% to $9.65 billion in the fourth quarter, but that's about half of its total sales.
It is, and that I'd like to have that $9.7 billion in my pocket. But the reality is, we've talked again and educated people that this dollar is a mixed conundrum. When you have a strong dollar, it benefits consumers who can buy more with their dollars, but it hurts exporters like Johnson & Johnson. And as we have more of a global economy, as things continue to move in that direction, we're going to have to closely monitor how those currencies interrelate so that we don't put too much burden on the exporters.
All right, and last thing here, about 30 seconds we have, the Supreme Court is maintaining what is called a swipe fee cap, which basically is every time you swipe your credit card, the cap fee that goes in there that people have to pay. The retailers are upset about it, but is this good news for the consumer?
I think it is. This is a 34-cent fee versus, I think, what was 44. It's part of the Graham and Dodd legislation. It's a little bit confusing, which is why it hit the Supreme Court. But I do think it puts a cap on what otherwise is a hidden fee by the banks. And so I think consumers generally should be glad the Supreme Court let stand the ruling that said you can't raise it.
And of course, anybody who thinks that every time they swipe a credit card, no matter where it is, that it's coming free or it's all, yeah, okay.
Yeah, free is a funny word. I've yet to see anybody who works for free.
Yeah, I haven't found anybody yet for that specifically, and I don't think people quite understand that yet. But we'll continue to tell them the reality of what goes on here.
Well, and you and I will stay tuned for the State of the Union tonight, where we'll hear all about free college. So.
Oh boy, yeah, I can't wait to take effect of that. Steve Beaman, the Society to Advance Financial Education. Always a pleasure, Steve. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Ed.
All right, take care. The psychology of terrorists and the psychology of ridiculous political correctness. That and a whole lot more after the break as Midpoint continues.